Alrighty, welcome to another deck opening here for Flesh and Blood. We're going to be taking a look at a Chain Blitz deck. So Chain is a shadow hero. In our first one of these, we took a look at Levia, and now we're cracking open Chain here. And again, one of the cool things that Monarch is introducing, the most recent set here that we're going to be taking a look at, is the ability to have heroes with multiple types. So instead of just having a Rune Blade, you've got a Shadow Rune Blade, and so Chain adds a little bit more texture to that, where you've got Viserai, right? He's a Rune Blade, but now you've got Shadow Rune Blades, Shadow Brutes, and you can kind of see the deck building possibilities that come out as a result of that. So let's take a look at what Chain has to offer here. So Chain, of course, we're playing Blitz as a young hero. Chain has a once per turn action, create a Soul Shackle token. Your next Rune Blade or Shadow action this turn gains Go Again. And it has Go Again itself, so it doesn't actually cost you an action here. And you can pull out Soul Shackle. And what Soul Shackle does is it stays in play, and at the beginning of your action phase, banish the top card of your deck. So what's going on with Chain here? What Chain is doing is effectively every turn you get a free Go Again. That's huge, right? You normally start with one action point, and Chain will double the number of action points you get per turn. It gives you a free action point every turn. So that sounds kind of busted, right? It doesn't give you an action point, but it gives you Go Again on your next attack, which kind of ends up being a very similar thing. It's not even an attack, just action. Rune Blade or Shadow action. So what's the price we pay for doubling our actions? Well, we get a Soul Shackle, banishes the top card of your deck every turn. By itself, that would be a fairly dangerous cost, right? Because let's say you get 4 Soul Shackles in play, like your deck's going to be banished pretty quickly. You got to end the game at that point. But there's even more than that. Chain, as with Levia and other shadow heroes, has a bunch of blood deck cards. Like if you look at Bounding Demagon, it's a 0 cost attack that deals 3, and it has blood debt, which says at the beginning of your end phase, if it's in your banish zone, you lose a health. So imagine you've got 3 or 4 Soul Shackles in play, maybe even just 2. You're going to be banishing cards with blood debt, and as a result, you're going to be taking extra damage every turn. So a dangerous ability. You're not going to use Chain every single turn, but it's still very, very powerful. And of course, you can use it quite well if you kind of plan things out nicely. As for the Mentor, so we've got Lord Sutcliffe. Mentors are cards you can only play in your deck if you've got a young hero. So again, it's another reason to be playing Blitz. And what Lord Sutcliffe does here is, besides being a creepy severed head, is at the start of your turn, if it's face down in your arsenal, you may turn him face up. And whenever you play a non-attack action card, deal 1 arcane damage to each hero and put a lesson counter on Sutcliffe for each damage dealt this way. So that includes yourself. And then if there's 3 or more lesson counters, banish him, search your deck for a specialization card, and put it face up in your arsenal and shuffle your deck. So like the other mentor, Belthamore, whatever, that Levia had, Lord Sutcliffe builds up counters, and then you crack it to go look for your specialization card. And here we've got Soul Reaping. It's another 6 cost action, 6 cost shadow action. It's an attack, legendary Chain specialization. You can have 1 in your deck, and you have to be playing Chain. You may banish 1 or more cards from your hand rather than pay the resource point cost. If you do, gain a resource point for each card with blood debt banished this way. So you can, I see. So you can basically pay for this by banishing blood debt cards. And if you're using Soul Reaping to attack a hero with 1 or more cards in their soul, it has Go Again. So again, you see these big legendary specializations that target the light heroes that end up with stuff in their souls. So Soul Reaping, it hits for a lot of damage. You can play it on the cheap, and it can have Go Again. It's definitely something worth searching up with the Lord Sutcliffe here. If you don't know, I do a podcast, a Magic podcast called Limited Resources every week, and my host is named Marshall Sutcliffe, though I would not refer to him as Lord Sutcliffe, but I can't help but see that. Let's take a look at the weapons that Chain's got bringing to the battle here. Galaxy Black is the sword. So it's a 2-handed sword. It only attacks for 1, and it's a once per turn action. You pay 1 resource point to attack, and it uses your action point. So on the face, obviously there's something else going on. That's not good enough. If you put a card from your banish zone, it gets +2 strength until end of turn. All right. So now you're attacking for 3 for one resource point. Not too bad. And if it hits a hero, you deal 1 arcane damage to them. Okay. So we're talking about maybe even 4 if it gets through. So not bad. Galaxy Black has definitely some action going on here. Ebb and Fold, same as the Levia deck. It's got Spell Void 2. You can basically sack it to prevent 2 points of arcane damage to yourself. And you can also banish a card from your hand in order to draw a card. Aether Ironweave as the chest equipment. It's a Runeblade equipment, and you can pay an action, destroy it to gain 2 resource points, and you can only activate this ability if you've played an attack action card and a non-attack action card this turn. It is Go Again. So it's free to destroy it if you've played an attack action and a non-attack action, but one thing that you have to note is even though this is an action that has Go Again, so it's net 0, you can only activate this if you've got an action. So this one's pretty tricky to use, but the advantage is, well, you get 2 resource points, which is a pretty strong advantage to get out of your chest. Plus it has 1 defense and it has Battle Worn, so you can block with it once and it'll stick around for you to use its ability. Spellfray Gloves, Spell Void 1 Gloves, and Snapdragon Scalers. We've of course seen these before. You can destroy it as an attack reaction to give your an attack action card that costs 1 or less Go Again. So definitely a solid set of equipment here. And then a ton of attacks that have Blood Debt. So you are really paying the price for having these Soul Shackles. But you have some cool ones. Like look at a Piercing Shadow Vice. So this is a 2-cost attack that attacks for 4, pitches for 1, it's red. But you may play it from your Banish Zone. And if you've dealt arcane damage to an opposing hero, this gets +2. But the part that really interests me is playing this from my Banish Zone, because all of a sudden, Soul Shackle starts to become not just a drawback, right? You play a Soul Shackle to get your extra action, and that's part of how I use this Aether Ironweave, by the way, getting extra actions. And then you banish a Piercing Shadow Vice, all of a sudden you have access to an additional card, and by playing it, it gets it out of your Banish Zone, so it stops the Blood Debt drawback. So that's pretty good. Another one is Riftbind. This is a 1-cost attack for 3. But you may play it from your Banish Zone, and it gets +X strength, where X is the number of non-attack action cards you've played this turn. So not only is it a 1-cost attack for 3 that you can play to your Banish Zone, sometimes it can attack for 4 or 5. So definitely some strong stuff here. Another one, Rifted Torment. It's a 2-cost attack for 4. You can play it from your Banish Zone, and if you do, deals 1 arcane damage to the opposing hero, or target hero. I guess you could ping yourself if you really wanted to. But boom, it just pings them out of nowhere. So what you're going to find with Chain is a ton of cards that you play to your Banish Zone, Ghostly Visit, Howl from Beyond, and you end up in a spot where you want to just go as fast as possible with these Soul Shackles most of the time, and end up playing all these cards, getting extra value. You have extra actions because of Soul Shackles. You have extra attacks because you can play them from your Banish Zone, and overall, you can really pressure your opponent. And of course, if you want to spice up the deck, if you want to end up putting a little more into it, you can pick up Eclipse as one of the really cool cards. Actually, it was a preview card that I got, and I'm like, what does this even do? Because it says if you've played 6 Blood Debt cards, you can summon Ursur the Soul Reaper, and it is a very strong card. It's this giant attacker that they can attack down, but it ends up doing a lot of damage to your opponent, and a lot of cool stuff going on there. So Chain is a very cool theme, and overall I really enjoy kind of the prospect of playing with this. Chain is certainly my favorite of the new heroes in Monarch, and I look forward to battling with this Blitz deck. Like I mentioned, these Blitz decks are pretty good right out the gates, though obviously you can spice them up if you want. All right, I'm excited to get to playing with these, so check out Channel Fireball for a gameplay video soon. And this is your first look at these Blitz decks.